Yes, I didn't turn on my mic. I'm so smart. Thank you, Deanna. So I have my, let me check my sound real fast. Hopefully it's working now. I had my mic on mute and I totally forgot. That was not my best moment. So you just watched me talk for like 5 minutes. All right, so I'm going to redo my swatches because, well, there's no point. So I did a Posca swatch, acrylograph, and with an old nib, and then the green nib is the new thinner nib. And I feel like the acrylographs are much more opaque than the Poscas, but I don't have any of the other colored Poscas, so I can't really test the colors. But in terms of black, I feel like the acrylograph ones are a little bit more opaque. And I really like the newer nibs versus the older ones, because the older ones I keep getting it clogged up, even though they give you like extra nibs, but there's only so many extra nibs you can do. Yep. Okay, so that was like the very fast summary of what I was talking to myself apparently about. And so, how are you doing today, Tiana? Did you have a good weekend? Did you do anything fun? That was the other thing I was saying. Without knowing my mic was on mute. We tried to go, well, no, we went, what's it called? Couch shopping yesterday. Is it a little bit blurry? Give me a minute. Oh, so we went. Everything good, relaxing? That's good. Relaxing is always good. Okay, my stream might be a little bit funky, and I think it might be my computer, but let me know if it's not clear or if it's a little bit like laggy. But I am going to redo my camera because it's for some reason not working, or it looks a little bit blurry. So let me try something. You can see fine? Okay, well then I'll leave it. I don't know, my PC died a few months back, and so I've been using my Mac, but it's just not like as powerful, and so when I stream sometimes it gets all weird. Okay, but nothing is going. So yeah, we tried to go couch shopping yesterday, and we were trying to find a sectional, so the ones with like a chaise lounge on one side, so you can lay down. And like we went to 4 different places and we couldn't find anything. Like we found one that we were somewhat happy with, but then they said they didn't have it in stock and they didn't know when they were gonna get it back in stock. So 4 stores later, we're still couchless in our poor living room. Kind of sucks, but who knew buying a futon or a couch would be so difficult? Because, it's not, I thought everybody, maybe most people are buying theirs online. But like if you buy it online, how do you know if it's comfortable? Right? That's my question. So I want to be able to sit on it and test it out. So that's our current difficulty. Okay, so it's not just me. It's pretty hard, right? Like it's like I'm not very picky. I just want a black or gray couch with a cloth material and not one of those furry suede type materials. But apparently they are very hard to find because we could not find any. And the only one we did find, they did not have in stock. Like we saw some pretty ugly ones. They were like suede and pink or like bright purple. I don't know. Did my stream freeze? Oh, fudge. see something. Oh, no, here we go. Okay. Hopefully that helps a little bit better. Yeah, pink. And it's not like a nice pink. It was like one of those really gaudy 70s couch. It was terrible. It was so bad, and we were just like, why? And then like it had those little, I don't know how to explain it, but it was just not very nice. And yeah, so we bought a rug that we thought would go nice with that couch that we found that we liked, but then we still don't have a couch, so we have a rug though. This is, yeah, and it's like very ostentatious pink. I'll see if I can find a picture of it, because I just look at it and I'm like, why? Who would buy that stuff? It doesn't match any like the modern aesthetic, or maybe if you had like a very old, colorful house, you would probably, maybe it would match, but not for me. Not for me. I mean, I just want a black or gray one. That's like the most standard, you would think. So that's my adventure for yesterday. We were all like super excited to go look for one, and then super disappointed when we got home. Vintage. Yeah, there we go. We also we did go to this like one. It's called a consignment place, so people put their stuff there to sell. But they had like some old antiques, and there was this really nice dining room table. It's just like made out of old Indonesian wood, and it's pretty big, but it's so nice. Like I really wanted to buy it, but it was like $500, and I was just like, I don't know if I can justify buying a $500 table. Black is easy to take care of, exactly. Like I also, because we have dogs, and so they get muddy or they get furry, and the fur gets dirty. So I don't want to get a light colored couch for it to get dirty, you know. So that's why we're going for dark colors, and maybe dark colors are just not as fashionable, because there are a lot of light colored ones. But I can't. And we couldn't do leather either because of our dogs. So, and my husband really doesn't like the furry kind, the suede or fake, or I don't know what the other name is, but yeah. So that was pretty depressing. We might just have to buy it online, but I don't know. Like how can I? What if it's not comfortable? Like the whole point of buying a couch is to make sure it's comfortable. And then they're not cheap, so it's not like you can just be like, oh, whatever. I only spent $100 on the couch. No, it's like $2,000 for a couch. You have kids, yeah. Kids might actually be more destructive because they drop food and stuff. Yeah. So, what color is your couch? And where did you find your couch? I feel like I need to start asking everybody where they bought their couches. Let me change my filters real fast. Like I've been asking my friends where they get their couches and if it's comfortable, and most of them have said it's not very comfortable. So if it's not comfortable, then I'm not going to get it. Oh my goodness. My last couch was a hand-me-down from a friend, so I haven't had to buy a couch in a long time. And my parents' couch at home is a leather one, which is not gonna work. Plus, they bought it in Taiwan, so it doesn't really help. Dark gray, yeah, good color. I like that color. I think the other problem is that we're pretty, like, my husband really wants a sectional so that he can lay down. And so we're looking for a sectional plus a specific color, and maybe that's why it's so hard to find. And a specific fabric type. But they're like, whatever. Anyway, enough complaining about couches. See if that works. 7 years ago at Ashley. So I would, yeah, I was like, I was saying, too bad we don't have an Ashley Furniture here because when we were in New Orleans, they had an Ashley Furniture and they have a super wide selection. Do you like it? Is it comfortable? Maybe we'll just have to make a trip into New Orleans and try to get a couch there. Actually, for such a not huge city that we live in, we have quite a few furniture stores. That was actually pretty surprising. My friend has the Love Sack ones, and they're like you can customize how big you want it, but they're also like a couple $1,000s. Which, if I didn't have dogs, it might be justifiable, but with dogs, I feel like it would just get destroyed really fast. Even though we don't want our dogs on the couch, but I've noticed mine likes to get on, even though we're not home. I mean, even when we're not home. In our last movie, Field broke one of the supports. Oh, dang. Yeah, that sucks. You should be like, you should sue them. Just kidding, don't sue them. That's the downside to moving. Well, I hope you have an easier time finding your new couch than we did. Alright, I'm gonna do that. And then someone was asking me how to do like those thin color or cursive type cursive type lettering. So I'll do it here. But first I'm going to ink it. But instead of black, I'm going to do nothing in gray. Oh, they paid but not enough. Oh, that sucks. Oh, shoot. So yeah, you can't really do until you get 100 subscribers. You can't change the URL of your YouTube video of your YouTube channel. So it's a string of numbers and letters that I will never remember. So if you search, so I have to tell people to search for my YouTube channel. Sorry. You should tell them to pay more. Couches are surprisingly, well, not, I guess not surprisingly, but couches are really not that cheap. They're pretty expensive. But I mean, it's a good investment if you can get a good one that will last a long time. But that's always like, you're not sure if it, like one of my biggest worries about buying a couch is that you sit on it for so many months or years, and then it just like flattens or sinks and it's not as fluffy. And then it's not as comfortable. But like that's not something you can tell when you buy it. It's something that happens like over time. So that's the annoying part. Another annoying part, I guess I should say. Thanks. Have fun. And thank you for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful day. Ha, yours is so much better, Deanna, if you're still here, if you're gone. Okay, yeah. So what was I talking about? I can't remember what I was talking about anymore. But yeah, so I went couch shopping yesterday, and then today I didn't do anything. It's really hard to be like, I don't know. So when I started working, I was like, oh, the first month I was like, oh, I'm super motivated to continue doing my lettering business on the side, and so on and so forth. But I feel like, okay, have a great day, Deanna, and thank you so much for stopping by. And your sketch is definitely better than mine. But yeah, nowadays I just don't feel super motivated. Like during the weekends, I just want to sit on my butt and do nothing all day, which is not very conducive to getting work done. That's not work related, and there's much to be done. And like, I think I slept in the latest today than I've ever slept in. So I woke up at 9, which has not happened in, I would say, months at the very least. Nearly, maybe a year. Normally I'm up by 8, but today I guess I was super tired. And so I woke up at 9 and I'm like, whoa. I feel like I wasted a whole day. But at the same time, I felt like, oh, I didn't even feel that much more refreshed. I was still pretty tired. But then I started worrying about not being able to sleep early tonight, which would be bad because I have to work tomorrow. But I guess such is life. I read, someone called it social jet lag. Like when you wake up early every day for work, and then once the weekend hits, you stay up late and sleep in late. And apparently that's not very good for you. But I really like the term social jet lag because it's very appropriate. But yeah, I need to get 100 subscribers on YouTube at least so I can change my URL so that it's not just a string of numbers and letters, because I will never ever be able to remember that. That's not even a short string, it's actually really long. Maybe if you look on the URL bar right now you'll see it, but yeah. But once you get 100 subscribers you can change it. So I guess that's my first goal. First goal of YouTube. And the next goal would be to post consistently, which is going to be hard. Okie dokie. So I bought this new shampoo that's supposed to make my hair frizz less, and it's really expensive. I only bought the travel size because I wanted to test it first. It's only been a day since I used it. Like, I've only used it once, so maybe I need to give it a longer period of time, but I don't feel like it's actually working. My hair still feels equally frizzy and poofy, and yeah, annoying. I normally get my hair chemically straightened when I'm in Taiwan, but thanks to this wonderful pandemic, I haven't been able to go back and get it done. I also haven't cut my hair in a year and a half. Last time I went back to Taiwan was January of last year, of 2020. So it's been a while since I cut my hair. So it's really long, it's really poofy, and it's a pain in the ass because when I swim, like, you know, you have to wash your hair after you swim, and every time I swim, I have to wash my hair, and then it's just like, it makes me not want to swim. Which is probably bad because I need the exercise. The other hard part about working is trying to balance exercise. Like in the past we used to go run, or swim. But now that I've started working, my exercising has gone down, which means my weight has increased, which is not good. Good thing my mom can't see me now. Because, Asian parents, they're always like, did you get fat? Did you gain weight? Possibly. Most probably. All right. Yeah, I'm a fan of their bigger or newer tips because they flow a lot better. I think because they're plastic maybe instead of the usual like cloth type. This is the cloth. Obviously, I don't know anything about pens. I just like to use them. But I do like the acrylograph colors. They're so pastel-y. I do like pastel. Ooh, hello. Hello, Carol. Guatemala. I've never been there. I would love to visit. I've actually never been um, into South or even Central America. So that is definitely a goal of mine. I would love to visit. I have a friend in Ecuador, so I would love to visit her there. Stop by some other South American countries or Central American. I've never been to Mexico either. Yeah, so lots of places left to visit, but not enough time or money, sadly. What is a famous or very popular food in Guatemala? Because let's be honest, when I travel, it's mostly because I want to eat food, different kinds of food. Alright, so I got a question about doing some kind of long, I don't do very much calligraphy, but I did get a question about doing like narrow, spaced out calligraphy, so I'm going to try it here. Yeah, not working. I did not plan this out. Oh, thanks. I hope one day I will be able to visit. I should just do a tour of all the different places where I have followers, and then have y'all show me around, because that would be fun. Typical food is soup made with turkey and chili. Oh, so is it spicy? That sounds good. I can't do spicy very well, but I can like just give me a lot of water and I'll be okay. But my husband would love that. He is a definite spice fiend. He thinks my cooking is pretty bland half the time because I don't add that much spiciness to it. Also, not that much salt because salt is, not great for your blood pressure. So, when you're doing like this kind of long type of cursive, you just have to make sure your letters match your base and just stretch it out. And it would just be like any other kind of calligraphy or cursive. So, yeah, that's it. That's all there is to it for that. So if you know like basic calligraphy and brush calligraphy, then you should be fine. Just stretch it out, and you don't have to do the thick downstroke, thin upstroke. Just use a monoline pen and do it a consistent weight across the whole word and letters. Okay. Mainly banana, they sell it without the chili. Okay, perfect. That would be good for me. Although I would like to try. Okay, my husband can get the chili version, and then I'll get the non-spicy version, so I can try both. It's kind of funny because, like, in my family, I'm the only one who can't eat spicy. My parents and my sister both love really spicy food, and I'm on the side going, nope, no spice, please. And there's a story they like to tell that when I was maybe 3 or 4 and my mom was giving me food, and she gave me she thought it was a peanut, but it was actually a piece of garlic, and I ate it, and I was just like dying because it was so spicy to me back then. Even though, garlic is not that spicy. But I was a kid. Kids don't have, at least I as a kid did not have high spice tolerance. And for nowadays, whenever we go out to eat, I always have to make sure I get a non-spicy dish for me, and then my parents and my sister can order all the spicy food they want. Yeah. I feel like I should color another word in a different color as well, since I have that one. Maybe I'll do right and left in the color. See how it goes. So how was your weekend? Or how was your week? Did you do anything fun or exciting? I did not. I just worked. The first 2 days of this past week, downtown New Orleans lost power, so there was not much work to be done because we have to remote into our computers at work. And without power, we couldn't do that because our computers were all off. So there was a lot of staring at my computer screen and wondering what I'm supposed to be doing. But then we also had 3 days of meetings, or a conference type meeting, so that we didn't need to remote in. But that was essentially my week. Nothing else is happening. So I just realized that when I was doing my swatches earlier, I said that the acrylographs are more opaque, but they're actually not because you can see my pencil marks still. So maybe they are both equally not as opaque. Okay, I'll do right in a different color and left in another color. I would say right is more like purple. Yeah. Hopefully my stream is doing okay. Come on. I just used you yesterday, so I know you definitely work. This is one reason why I don't like this nib. It just dries out so much faster than the other one. Ugh. Always claims that when we were kids I gave him vinegar instead of olive oil. That's a very big difference between vinegar and olive oil. Did he get traumatized? I mean, I know that like for a while I would always be very paranoid about little pieces of food because after, I think maybe it's because of my experience with the garlic. So I always have to make sure that I'm eating what I'm expecting and not something unexpected. Ah, come on, pen. No, Smoky. Let me grab another piece of paper. See if I can get this ink flowing. You can see my work notes. Smoky, it's my pen. Oh, well that came out more than expected. Okay, let's see if that worked. No. Oh, there we go. So this stream is just gonna be me trying to get this pen to work. They look the same color. That's true. I mean, yeah, I can't help it. As long as it wasn't intentional. Like my mom was not intentional to give me garlic instead of peanuts. Because in Thai food you have a lot of food with peanuts and garlic. Wow, this is not working. Give me a minute, guys. See if I can get this ink to flow. Okay. I think that's doing a little bit better. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Alright, I'm gonna pull this out. See if the other side will work better. Shake it, yeah. This is one reason why I don't like paint pens because, well, they dry out pretty easily and also you just gotta shake it and I hate shaking it. Alright, so I switched it around, but I feel like it's just the remnants of what was on the nib. We'll see how long this lasts. But it's working better. There we go. when you say shake it, or whenever I say shake it, I just want to sing that song by Outkast. Shake it like a Polaroid picture. What notebook am I using? I'm using the Notebook Therapy Tsuki. I don't know how to pronounce it. Tsuki. By Notebook Therapy. And I just got an email today. I'm not affiliated or anything, but they are having their birthday sale for this week. You can get 20% off, I think, their entire site if you use the code birthday. But if you just Google Notebook Therapy, it'll show up. So I actually really like it. Like, this is my first notebook therapy book, journal, notebook, whatever you want to call it. And I'm pretty happy with it. Like, the paper is thick and smooth, so it works really well. And there's no ghosting, and I've used, like, I haven't tried watercolor on it, so I don't know how it works under watercolor. But a lot of the ink-based colors, so like the Artistro ones, the paint pens that are pretty inky and juicy, they don't run, they don't go through, there's no ghosting. Also, there's no, what's it called? Like when you put too much ink, it doesn't bleed. There's no bleeding either. So I'm actually pretty happy with this book. And I got like the thick one, so that has more pages. So I feel like this book will last me a while, I hope. I'm like maybe nearly halfway done with the book. And I bought it, I think, for my birthday, so it's been over 2 months, or 24, June 4th, July. Yeah, it's been over 2 months. So it's actually lasted me quite some time. I also got the B5 version, so it's like bigger than my usual notebooks. And I actually really like it. I like the fact that I have more space to letter in. Now when I try to letter in small pieces of paper, it just seems a lot harder. Oh no, it's dying again. Don't die, don't die, don't die. Okay, I made it. I'll touch it up later, maybe. Okay. So I definitely feel like I'm using a lot more color nowadays. Mostly because, I don't know, maybe a little bit, maybe some color is not terrible. Hopefully people don't mind that. Okay. And then I think I'll do maybe a blue for left. Oh wait, no, I've used up more than half, so I'll do a little flip through of what I have done so far in this book. It'll be a little bit close up, but I just like finding a book where I can use both sides without having to worry. So like I did all this in black, and then you can't see anything on the other side, which I like. And then I did, well, I guess this is more of a, this is the Tombow dual brush pen, so it's not very much, not really watercolor, but again, the ink doesn't show through. And then I have one more colored, let's see if I can find it. Oh yeah, I did all this with the acrylographs and also the Artistro. Yeah. It's very thick, so it does, even if you tear a little bit off like this page, so like you can see I have a little bit, like little tears, not really tears, but it's just like rubbing the paper off, but it doesn't affect the other side, so, well, not much anyway. So it's a thick paper, which is really, really good. But I've heard like what's the other one? Oh, Archer and Olive also. Their books are like that. Like their papers are thick. So I think you just want to try to find thick paper, thick and smooth. If you use brush pens or paint pens because you don't want to destroy your tips. And then if you want to use watercolor, I've heard that these are okay for watercolor. I don't know though. I haven't tested it. Because watercolor is a whole different world. So yeah, this blue is running a lot better than my purple. It's a lot of choices when it comes to buying notebooks. For the longest time, I was just buying this really cheap dot grid journal off Amazon by Lemome, and it works really well. Like the paper is also thick and smooth. The only problem with that one is the paper is a little bit more yellowish. So, like this paper is white. But the some of the other notebooks that you see out there are a little bit more yellow in paper or cream, which is not a problem if you're just doing bullet journals. But when I do like lettering stuff, I like my paper to be white. So I bought this one, and then I have a couple Archer and Olives that I haven't used yet because I told myself that I'm going to finish this book before I start on a new one. But I do have like an Archer and Olive that's craft paper and black paper and also one in white. And they're all dot grids. Because I love dot grid journals. They're super good for lettering. Do you think they're almost the same quality, both A&O and Notebook Therapy? I think so. I think, so I haven't actually used any of the A&O journals, but I do have this. Let me grab it. This is their, I guess, paper pad, so you can tear off each page, but it's really nice. And I feel like it's a little thicker. Yeah, it's a little thicker than the Notebook Therapy paper, although I'm not sure compared to their journal if it's the same. Let me grab one. Give me 1 second while I slowly move back. Alright. So this is the Archer and Olive one. Let's see. And then we can do a pen test on it. See how it compares. Should just open it. All right. So paper-wise, paper-wise, I think Archer and Olive is actually a little bit thicker. And then let's do some pen tests with, I'll use this acrylic graph since we've been using it. Yeah, I mean, it's nice. It's equally smooth and maybe a little bit thicker. Definitely not as thick as their pad though. Let me try. Yeah, so I actually think they're about the same quality. This, the Archer and Olive one is a little bit thicker, so if you want thicker paper, then this might be a good option. But otherwise, for lettering, I think they're both pretty good. And this paper, this pen pad paper is actually thicker than all of them combined, or all of them. So, let's see. The Archer and Olive one is 160, and I think the Notebook Therapy is 120. Oh yeah, I guess shipping for you would be more pricey because you're in Guatemala. That makes sense, yeah. But they're both good. Originally I went with Notebook Therapy instead of Archer and Olive because this Notebook Therapy has more pages for their B5 size journals, and Archer and Olive didn't. And I just wanted more pages because I felt like it was better bang for your buck. Oh no. Oh, there we go. So that's why I went with Notebook Therapy. But I think their paper are both great, and they're both white. So I guess just whichever one is cheaper for you to ship. No problem. But Archer and Olive does have a square one that I kind of want to get. Because I had a square Rhodia for a while to do my lettering on, and it's actually really good. It's really good for Instagram photos because, you know, it's a square. But yeah, so many things to buy, so little money. Also, I have way too many notebooks. Like, I don't need any more. At least not for a while. Alright, I'm gonna color in my goat. If I can find my pen. I just had it. Alright, I'll use this one. Also, if you're ever just looking for like practice paper, so you don't want to splurge on an expensive journal, the Rhodia dot pads are pretty affordable and easy to work with. They're just not very thick, so you can only use one side of the paper. Also, the HP 20-pound LaserJet papers are great for smooth, or great for brush pens because they're so smooth and they're so heavy, so you don't have to worry about ghosting or tearing up your paper. But that's a blank paper and there's no dots, sadly. Okay, so a little bit more color than usual. I'm gonna go back over these guys. Notebook Therapy has free shipping. Oh. I don't know, I kind of like both, but if Notebook Therapy has free shipping, then I think that's a better deal. Because I know A&O shipping is not the cheapest. And also Notebook Therapy right now has that discount going, so you might be able to, it might be a better, like, monetarily wise, might be a better deal to go with Notebook Therapy. Also, they have a lot of cute washi tapes. Like I was looking at their website today, and I really wanted to get some sets of washi tapes, even though I don't use washi tapes for anything. And they have a lot of other cute stuff too. It's very my kind of style. Or my kind of cuteness. I really like cute things. Which is dangerous because that's where I spend all my money. Aside from pens. They are, I can't remember what collection they're from, but they were part of that whole like, wait, I have the box. Let me check. This is the Awakening pack. It was part of their whole, sale last week or 2 weeks ago. I can't remember how long ago it was. But yeah, I really like these colors. They're very pastel-y and not super bright, which is not my kind. But yeah, I really like, yeah, these are really nice colors. Although I guess if you're gonna get acrylographs, then maybe, I don't know how they calculate their shipping, if it's by product or if it's just like one package gets one shipping price. So that's also a consideration. Yeah, I know the feeling. There's so many things I still want to buy. I don't know. It's probably a good thing I didn't discover lettering and like paper and pen and all this fun stuff until later in life when I couldn't possibly afford more, because if I were a kid, man, I would just be like spending all my pocket money on pens and shit. Alright, time for some white. Like I still want to get Poscas. Also I want to get some Caron markers. I don't know why, but all of a sudden I want all these like colorful pens and markers and brush pens, even though I don't work with them that often. But then like I see other people's work and I'm like, ooh, so pretty, so pretty. And I'm sure there's always going to be like new things being developed and being sold. I just want to tell all the pen companies that if they send me free pens, I will definitely do it for an exchange for a post. No, Smokey. I don't know if you. I don't know. Smokey. Smokey, come here. Smokey, come here. Come here. Oh, come here. Come here. I used to sell coconut water and spent all my earned money on pens. I think that's a good trade-off. Also, coconut water. I miss having good coconut water. You can't really get that here. I think as a kid, I used to just spend my money on CDs, because that was a thing back then, and posters. I was definitely one of those kids who had like posters all over their room, even though my mom hated it. And nowadays, I can understand why my mom didn't want me to stick posters all over my walls now. And so my walls are more blank than they ever used to be. Blank and boring. Oh no, of course. It wouldn't be a live stream without me smearing something. But it is luckily fixable. I'll let it dry though. Yeah, when we lived in Thailand, I used to drink coconut water all the time. And now in America, they have like Vita, or like, you know, they sell it in the grocery stores, but they're not like fresh coconut water, sadly. Thankfully, it was not like too bad of a smudge, so I could easily fix it. But to be fair, you can fix most smudges as long as it's just like, you know, for your own pleasure, and this is not like a commission, in which case you can't really do it, but otherwise you can just cover up all your smudges with a white pen or a black pen, depending on your paper. So then when you photograph it, you can't really tell. So I'm very often smudging my work, which is pretty dumb. I just need to be more patient and like wait for things to dry. Okay. So now I'm just gonna add some shadows, and then I think we're done with this. First I'm gonna clean this W. So that's kind of why I like using black and white mostly, because it's so easy to fix mistakes. But if you're doing like colored stuff, then it's a little bit harder. Unless you have paint pens that can cover that are pretty opaque. How come we had all these trees on the road, so when the workers cut the coconuts, my father used to bring them to our home. Oh, that's lucky. So I guess you got to drink a lot of coconut water. Is that color you see? Yes, it is. I know it's very rare. Well, not so rare anymore. I feel like I've been using a lot more color lately. Maybe it's like a new stage of my aging. Growing older is making me use color more. Also, I did swatch in the beginning my black Posca and some acryligraphs, Helen, but I actually feel like the acryligraphs are a little bit more opaque than my Posca. I don't know. I've never used a color. I don't have any colorful Poscas, but the ones that I've seen you use are like super vibrant. So maybe it's just my black. Yeah, I also just like these colors. Like they're not super in your face. They're still pretty mellow. And it adds a little something different, I guess. Maybe I'm just getting tired of my usual lettering. And I need to add some new visual interest to them. And it's either this or watercolor, which watercolor still kind of freaks me out. I don't know if I'll ever get into it. Also, I feel like watercolor requires a lot more cleanup, and I'm so lazy. Getting tired of yours too. Maybe you should. Yeah, you should try to add some color and see how you feel. Like I've been using maybe not a lot of colors, but just like a few colors here and there, and it's actually been pretty good. Still learning what to add, where to add shadows. Okay. Editing color. Yeah, you mean when you take a photo of it? I hate taking photos of my lettering, colorful lettering pieces. So for shadows, just always remember, keep in mind where your light source is. And then it's going to be on the opposite side. So my light source is in my upper right hand corner. So that means the shadow falls to bottom left because your words are blocking the light. So bottom, left, bottom, left, bottom, left. Bottom left, but it's not. Yeah, it took me a long time to figure this out. Like when I was in high school, my friends were like doing art classes, and they were all like, "Oh, just put a shadow here, just put it there," and I'm like, "What the hell are you talking about? That makes no sense to me." But it wasn't until I started doing lettering that I think I did a lot of like just looking at other people's shadows and trying to figure out. For a while, I just copied it, and then suddenly one day it hit me what I was doing, and now it makes more sense. But yeah, so editing color is a pain in the butt. Like with black and white black and white lettering, when you edit your photo, you just decrease saturation and it makes everything look perfect. But you can't do that with colorful lettering. My greatest fear about color is just like how to combine, like what kind of colors work well together. But I feel like, or at least with the acrylograph set, because they paired it so well together, that it doesn't matter. Like any of the colors that you use together will look good. It's when I have too many color options that I kind of get worried. Like when I do digital lettering and I have to add color, it takes me like freaking half an hour just to figure out what colors to use. And even then it never looks as good. I need to draw a circle in the corner with a pencil and draw light lines so I can figure out. Yeah, that works too. That's a smart way to do it. Just draw Mm. Smart. I should have done that. My friends never told me that. They're just like, do it here, do it there. And I'm like, wow, you guys are the worst teachers ever. Okay. So that's one done. Let's do another one. Because I still have 15 minutes. Let's see. I'm just gonna pick another quote from last week. We will do never lose your inner child. That seems like a good one. The lines go where the light hits and then you do the opposite side. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a whole lot of sense. And of course, I'm going to do a banner. I feel like lose is too big. I don't want to emphasize lose because that defeats the purpose of this quote. So how's your Sunday going, Helen? Oh, I guess I wasn't on camera, I'm sorry. And I don't think I ever have to worry about losing my inner child because I feel like an outward child still. I wonder if I'm ever gonna feel like an adult. Better than yesterday? That's good. Your kid's not driving you insane? Also, how long is his summer break for? Because I know, like, at least here, people are starting to go back to school in August. Moody's and Moody to tip run. Your dad had your kid for a while. That's nice. And he's not been awful since the day. So far, so good. That's good. Also, when are you going on that little lake trip? I forget what it was called. With your kid and his friend's mom, who you. Yep. When are you going on that trip? I think it's a good idea. It'll get him to like maybe leave you alone while he plays with his friends. Although you will have to socialize, but maybe it won't be too terrible. 6 long weeks. Okay. 6, a month and a half. That's not too bad. Hopefully by the time 6 weeks comes to an end, the COVID will be better. Although, who knows? Oh, shoot, sorry. You haven't texted her yet. Are you purposefully putting it off so you don't have to go? So I was looking at your story poll today, Helen, and you said if you want to do merch, you can actually just look into using Printful, which is like a drop ship type thing, but you can upload your designs to them and they will create the designs and then send it out to the person, so that you don't have to have you don't have to have products on hand, and the upfront cost is, I think you have to have a website though, so your upfront cost is your website. But that is also an option. In like 2 or 3 weeks, with his friend whose parents I know and I walk to school with and stuff should be coming, so it won't be alone with a stranger. That's good. It's always better when there's more people to offload the conversation responsibilities. Let's do 4. For Printful, I'm thinking about it. Oh, yeah. That's like one of the workshop week instructors uses it, and he was saying that it's sometimes you run into like shipping problems to the customer, but otherwise it's a very good service to use. Yeah, and also I think the amount you can make off Printful is probably more than say Redbubble or Society6, so it might be more worth it in the long run. I also have to still set up my store for my website, which I haven't done yet. That will probably be on next week's to-do list. You already have too much to do? Yeah. Probably should focus on one thing at a time. I just need to be able to find my motivation again. Like, today's streaming was nearly canceled because I didn't want to do it. But I was like, I didn't really do any lettering this weekend, So I should do something at least. I still haven't recorded my videos yet, which I really need to do. Yeah, well, I still have to darken some of the exercise books. I haven't done that yet. But yeah, I don't know why it printed that black box. Maybe I'll ask Agnes if she can print and see if she has the same problem. Which workbook was that for? It was for the Serif one? Because if you have that problem, then that means somebody else might have that problem. Even if I can't recreate it, I can also just try to resave everything and see if that resolves the issue. I know, here I am, I'm doing it. That's why I put that countdown in my stories, so I hold myself accountable. And so it's good to have other people there that can hold you accountable, I guess. Otherwise, if it was just up to me, I'd be like, I'm just gonna vegetate and watch stupid YouTube videos. Because that's my default state. Actually, no, if I wasn't streaming, I would probably be cleaning the house. Alright, I'll try to redo the serif and also see if anybody else can print it and see if they have the same problem. I shall color in never. Something in composition, but I don't remember Ben saying that she only printed the 2 and noticed the fault and brought it up. Okay. Well, I printed everything except for composition, but I will print composition as well and see if anything else comes up there. You keep not doing anything? Yeah. But I think you can blame the heat for that, maybe. The summer always makes me far more lazy than winter. Because it's so, like, hot that you don't want to do anything. Also, I feel like I was suffering from not enough sun prior to Thursday. We just had rain all the time, and finally we've had like 3 days of dry weather, and so that has been really nice. Definitely mood improvement. Also, we were supposed to go back into office starting August 9th, but that's been pushed back because of all the new COVID cases that we are having now. But once I go back in office, it's going to be even more difficult to do stuff. You're falling asleep at random times. Well, are you still sleeping like terribly at night? That could probably be why. Is it at least not as hot anymore? Or is it still equally hot? That's so crazy, this weather for you guys. Four in the morning. That's so early. Do you just get up or do you go back to sleep? Because that's a little bit crazy. Crazy, crazy. It is 10 and I was sleeping till at least like 11:30. Oh, I think you're not getting enough sleep at night. Maybe that's also affecting your motivation levels and why you're falling asleep at random times. That's when my kid has been getting up at like 4. Oh man, to be a kid again when we didn't want to sleep in. And now all we want to do is sleep in. Or like, I know as a kid I hated taking naps, but nowadays I just really want to take naps all the time. But there's no time to take naps. Sometimes I just wish I were a kid again. Whoops. Okay. More than likely, it gets to nighttime and I start getting really motivated. 9 p.m. I think your night owlness is showing up again. Do you do anything with that Superman syndrome at 9 p.m.? When Thomas stopped having naps, I felt like it was the end of the world. I guess like they feel like there's more to do than sleep. And nowadays we have too much to do, so we just want to sleep. It's like the opposite for both kids and adults. Although I know if I nap nowadays, I won't sleep at night, so I try not to nap on the weekends. But like when I'm working and lunchtime rolls around, I wish I could just take like a really fast nap. We used to do that in Taiwan at work. Everybody would just take like a 30-minute nap at their desk during lunchtime. And some places would even turn off their lights and then turn it back on when it's time to get back to work. Lots of drooling happening during that time though, because you're sleeping like face down at your desk. And it's just not the most comfortable. But when you're tired and you can sleep. No problem. So I wish America would do that too. Would have that kind of culture. Conversations about all things I want to do. I put stuff in notes in my phone for the next day and then never get around to doing it. Yeah, I have a lot of plans too. Did you ever post your blog? Yeah, power naps really work. They really do work. I don't know why they do, but they do. And they're so much better for productivity. But I think when you're at home, it's really hard to take power naps. If I try, I probably end up sleeping like 2 hours. You published it, but didn't post it. What does that mean? Like you didn't let anybody know you had published it? And you didn't... Yeah, what does it mean? You need to post it, you need to publish it, and then you need to like do a screenshot of it and put it in your Instagram stories. And then tell people to check out your link in bio. Or you can even screenshot it and put it as a post. Like Smokey. Like Scotty does with his screenshot stuff. That means I need to start my bio links and blah blah blah, and I haven't been bothered yet. Yeah, okay. That makes sense. Do it. Do it tomorrow. Tomorrow is Monday. Back to the grind. I feel like the weekends definitely go by a lot faster. Slow down a weekend. Okay, should I color in inner child or should I leave it white? Okay, I'll color in child because I noticed a theme. And then I'll leave inner white. You posted on your site, but you didn't post about it. Yeah, you should do that. Definitely should do that. I feel like now that I have that full-time job, the motivation to get stuff done. Also, now that I'm done with my dissertation, the procrastination motivation has also like backed off. So all my motivation is kind of, all my external motivators have disappeared. So now it's all about inner motivation, which has always been really shitty for me. So I definitely need to have some like external pressures for my motivation's sake, which is dumb. Like, I don't mind lettering. I will letter every day if I could. But like having to consider how to make it into a profitable side hustle is tough. Alright, I need to find my thicker marker because this is going to take me forever. Actually, I'm going to use my Poscas. Let's see how these work. What size is that? Oh, the 12? This one, the thick one is a 12. And then this Sensei is a 6. Yeah. Ooh. I wonder how it takes white. We need to learn to be more disciplined. That's probably what it is. But how do you learn to be more disciplined? I think it's like growing up, I always did my homework on time. I got my projects in on time and all that stuff because there was that external, you know, if you don't do it, you get a bad grade or your parents yell at you. So that's always been like my main motivator, and whenever there's not that, this is really hard. Anybody else have that problem? Your thickest Micron is the 8. Yeah, I really like the 12. They also have a 10, which I also use. But it's really good for like thick lines. So microns will always be my favorite just because they have that super wide range. Like, I haven't found any other pens or fine liners that have that kind of range in size. And this is also why I don't like pink pens, because you gotta like squeeze it. Oh look, now it's darker. Of course. And now I have 2 shades of black. Okay, now I feel like it's very thick. Did I break my pen? Leave it dry for like 5 minutes at least before you put any whites on. Okay, good to know. I never did my homework. You'll yell at me? Yeah, but the yelling, not so much. Doesn't work as well anymore. Like, I yell at myself all the time, but it just doesn't do anything. Yeah, I think it's all about discipline. Alright, I take it back. The Posca is pretty opaque and black pigmented too. I guess I just hadn't squeezed it enough earlier, or pushed the tip enough. I guess it's time to get some other Poscas. Staedtler pigment liners. Oh, okay. I think it's just it's not as yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it, but Staedtler or whatever the pronunciation is just not as popular here. But I have heard a lot of like more European letterers use it, so it must be good. It must be good. Oh, it's definitely inkier than... Okay, we'll see. Hopefully when it dries, it won't be as thick. Okay, I need to let it dry. I just got black ink all over my hand, my arms. So ever since we started talking about those chameleon markers, I keep getting Instagram ads for them. It just really makes me want to get some. So I guess those ads really do work. Trying to dry my black ink before I move on. So you missed my embarrassing situation earlier where I didn't realize my mic was on mute, so I was talking to myself for like 5 minutes until Deanna told me on Instagram, I think you're still muted. So that was fun. They're a pretty good brand. Yeah, I've heard definitely a lot about them. Pencils since primary school. Ooh. I think when I was in Europe, I've definitely used them. I feel like the popular brands that we hear about a lot are just probably have a very good marketing budget. So you tend to hear about them more than others. And I smudged it again. I thought it was dry. I didn't know Poscos took so long to dry. Mixed reviews about the chameleon ones, or which ones do you mean? Alright, I'm gonna do some dotting even though it takes like freaking forever, but it does look good. They have the yellow and black pencils that are really iconic. They're called Norris. Is it the sharpening kind or is it a mechanical pencil? Posca is this, yeah. I learned that considering how many times I smudged it or have it on my hand. Also, I really want to draw on one of my walls. I want to make a mural, but I don't have a white wall, first of all, and second of all, my husband's like, no. I need somebody to give me their wall so I can draw on it. Lend me their wall. Makes reviews about chameleons. Oh, okay, well then. That really helps me not want to buy, to prevent me from buying them. The sharpening kind, but I think they have a mechanical versions too. Okay. Yeah, I think I know the sharpening kind that you're talking about. I don't know if I can ever go back to sharpening pencils. Like, I'm so spoiled with my mechanical ones that having a sharpened pencil just seems like an extra pain in the butt. Do it. Do it. Do what? I can't remember what I was talking about anymore. I hate this lag between like me talking and then the comments coming. And that's why you'll sometimes hear me read stuff out loud, because just so you know what I'm talking about as well. I always like how dotting turns out. I just wish it didn't take so long, and my arms always get super sore afterwards. I feel like chameleons are good and everything, but they're a bit gimmicky because you can do the same stuff with other alcohol markers. Also, alcohol markers, I don't use them very often because you need that special kind of paper that will take it and not like bleed through to the next page, which I don't really have. So like I have a set of Tombow alcohol gray markers that I have never used because I don't have appropriate paper for it. You forgot. Okay, good. I'm not the only one. Oh, paint my walls. That's right. Tell your husband. Yeah, I do have my own office, but like all my wall space is covered by furniture. So I don't really have. I guess I do have a little sliver of wall space. Maybe I'll just do it. Either that, or I should just paint it with that chalkboard paint so I can do chalk art on it. Maybe. I do have like a white medicine cabinet in my bathroom that I might draw on first. See how that turns out. Okay, done. Now my arm is super sore. What should I do? Let's do an end line, I guess. Oh no, I think my white pen is running out of ink. Good thing I have a drawer full of white pens. Chalkboard is a better idea, then you can just change it easier when you get bored. Yeah, that's true. I should probably do that. And I have like some old chalkboard paint that from our old house, but I don't know where it went. Isn't that what always happens when you move? You just forget where everything went. Okay, I guess white does go on really well on this Posca. Cover my little black smudge. That might be it. feel like my child is very boring. But I can't think of what else to do with it, so oh well then. Let me just use. That was a terrible line. Oh well. Have you been watching the Olympics? Or has anybody been watching the Olympics? Apparently, according to our news, the opening ceremony was like the lowest watched opening ceremony. At least in America. On TV. I actually didn't even remember about the Olympics starting until I saw some posts about Taiwan, the Taiwan team. Also, I think the time difference makes it much harder to watch anything in Asia. You haven't watched it? Yeah. Normally I'll watch like gymnastics or swimming. But then again, we don't really have a TV channel. We don't really have a non streaming service TV channels. So I don't even know where to watch it. Except maybe like illegally stream it online. Yeah, I haven't seen it. I just the only time I hear about the Olympics is in conjunction with how terrible of an idea it is with COVID. Like the people involved with the Olympics testing positive for COVID. Probably not the best advertising for Olympics this year. Not right. I think that will be my stream for today. And like 5 minutes early, just because I managed to finish a piece. So thanks for watching, you guys, and I will be back next week, probably at the same time. So I'll see you next week, or I'll see you in the Discord server or on Instagram. So thanks, guys. Have a wonderful week.